Welcome dear learners. In the last session titled on sacred religion, we had discussed as an approach which basically needs to have had the basic for in this session on sacred magic. Dear learners, as we understood sacred religion as perspective, and we have also discussed about the views on religion expressed by various scholars, forms of religion in tribal and peasant societies. Now, this lecture on sacred magic has been developed based on selected references available. This has been divided into the following subtitles: meaning and definition of magic, elements of magic, classification of magic, similarities and differences between magic, and science for the discussion as cases. Shall we now go to the topic? Dear learners, as an objective of this lecture, learners will enable to understand the magic from different perspectives, to know the elements of magic and how different is magic from science and religion. Meaning and definition of magic. Magic is intricate and hard to define. It generally refers to a ritual activity often performed independently of institutional support, which aims to naturally brings about a variety of changes through the use of strong words and actions according to the desires of those who use it, which means magicians or their clients, and those who believe. Magic also pre-assumes a system of beliefs aside from rituals. There are good, which means white magic, or bad, which means black magic, goals relating various human and natural events such as health, sex, life, reproductive activity, climate events, knowledge of the future, social relationship, etc. So that the practitioner is able to bend to his or her will the powers on which the various aspects of life depend. Tyler and Fraser, two of the foremost proponents of anthropological evolutionism, looked at magic from an intellectualistic perspective as a mode of knowledge, of organization, and of the manipulation of reality. James Fraser made a detailed analysis of magic and religion in his book Golden Bough. He believed in the process of evolution of human knowledge and attempted to explain the evolution of culture through the evolution of magic, religion and science. From his point of view, the stages of development of human civilization correspond to magic, religion and science. The most primitive men explained and controlled natural happenings around human beings with the help of magic and gradually came to religion and science. Now, we will go into the deep. Fraser categorized magic into homeopathic magic, which means homeopathic magic is based on the principle of law of similarity, that is, like produces like. For example, the Count believes that for rain, human sacrifices are essential. The rain will fall in a manner comparable to how the sufferer's tears roll down their cheeks and their wounds bleed. The causal relationship between two events is sought after, but it is established in an irrational and imaginary conditions. Burning effigies are another method to illustrate the same idea, since the effigies suffering is understood to be equivalent to that of the actual person. The second one is contagious magic. Contagious magic is based on the law of contact. This suggests that anything associated directly to a person or an animal becomes a part of him or her and should not be viewed by anyone else, because it could harm the latter. This association also includes things like nail and hair trimming, utensils, clothing and personal items. Because of this, primitive people used to leave the deceased person's entire belongings behind when they passed away along with the dead body. Fraser opined that all the magical rites found in primitive society are based on these two principles. Fraser designated all these as sympathetic because to him the cause and effect relationship is a sympathetic relation. Bronislaw Gaspar Malinowski offered yet another definition of magic. According to him, magic consists of the superstitious acts and belief through which individuals try to control nature when their technology and rational techniques are insufficient. For him, magic comes into existence when people try to reduce their anxiety and uncertainty. The function of magic is to supply primitive people with a practical way out of difficulties faced by them in a day-to-day pursuit of their survival. It provides them with the ability to carry on with life despite inevitable problems. In this way, Malinowski argues that the functions of magic are to ritualize man's optimism, to enhance his faith in the victory of hope over fear. Both Fraser and Malinowski argued that magic is primitive science because it comes into existence when they are sufficient to control natural phenomena. Malinowski had witnessed magical practices among the Trobriand islanders, and he describes it in his book Argonauts of Western Pacific in 1922. The inhabitants of the Trobriand islands are knowledgeable about their environment. They grew a variety of crops. They skillfully adjust their agricultural activities to the varying local situations. They build canoes and undertake long voyages for trade and fishing. Sudden storms may derive a canoe for off course or even capsize it. In such situations, the Trobriand islanders know that their knowledge about nature is limited and that there are factors beyond their control. Neither their considerable knowledge of the crops can protect their crops from the dangers of unexpected storms and winds, nor their commendable navigation abilities can save them from the dangers of unexpected winds and other natural calamities. Therefore, in all such helpless situations, the Trobriand islands take recourse to magical acts. Different anthropologists view magic in different ways. Some of the propositions regarding magic are as in the following. It is a strategy that people use to control supernatural power. It is an attempt to manipulate the forces of nature to derive certain desired results. It is the use of rituals to direct and control supernatural forces. It is the control of supernatural forces by means of compulsive formulate. It is an attempt to mechanistically control supernatural forces. The majority of definitions of magic place a strong stress on the idea that magic is a practice and a belief intended to control supernatural forces. In Kerala, magical practices were used to ward off various illnesses, and effigies called nokukuthi were built to ward off malevolent eyes and a tongue of evil. Other kinds of magical preventive practices and steps include wearing a magical amulet means urukku, tying a magical thread mandar charadu, etc. In addition to these, certain foods, sugar, chili, lemon, turmeric, water, etc. are used with magical spells for curing diseases. Different procedures and formulas are needed to control supernatural power. This is carried out by expert specialists in order to produce the intended outcomes. As a result, magic contains a variety of elements to fulfill its function, just like religion does. The next important subsegment is elements of magic. According to Raymond Firth, magic involves three elements. The first one is the practitioner. Raymond Firth says that the practitioner of magic may be an individual, oneself, or a specialist such as a shaman, a magician, or a priest. The second one is the practical aim. The practical aim covers a wide range of objectives. They may be a protective in nature, such as protecting from the attack of animals, to protect crops, to cure from illness, etc. Amulets, mandracharadu, etc. are some of the protective magical instruments. The objective of magic may be productive, such as successful hunting, abundant crops, ample rain, and love making. Sri Chakaram, Sudarsana Chakaram, and Sandana Kobalayandram are some of the instruments of productive magic. Still, other objectives may be destructive because they include the desire to harm one's enemy, loss of others' crops, and harm to others' cattle. Kudotram, practiced in Kerala, is an example of destructive magic. The third one is the magical formula. According to Raymond Firth, there are three aspects of magical formula: the things used which are known as the instruments or medicines, the things done which are known as rites, and the things spoken which are called spells. The things used or medicines are of several types. The medicines which are used for magic are difficult to prepare or obtain. It is said to be prepared from contact with supernatural beings. The things done or the rites performed are either simple or complex. Magic may involve one rite or a series of rites. The things spoken or spells consist of the verbal aspects of magic. It may be a series of words and phrases or simply an overt expression of the practitioner's desires. Malinowski says that spell is couched in a specific language. It is secretive and hence the ordinary persons cannot understand the spells. Other classification of magic. Most anthropologists classify different magical practices into two distinct forms, namely black magic and white magic. This classification is made on the basis of the ends to be achieved. Let us look into the black magic. The use of magic to deliberately harm or destroy another person, group, community, cattle, crops, property, or personal achievements is known as black magic. It is malicious and antisocial. Black magic is used for destructive purposes. The second one is white magic. The use of magic to do good to another person, group, community, cattle, crops, property, or personal achievements is known as white magic. It is beneficial to the individual and society. It has social approval. White magic is used for productive and protective purposes. Now, it is an important section, similarities and differences between magic and science. The early and later anthropologists like Taylor, Fraser, Malinowski and others delineated fundamental similarities between magic and science. Science is based on the principle that certain causes are the result of certain effects. Magic is also based on cause and effect relations or causations. Both science and magic are governed by a body of principles specifying how one has to proceed to get the desired results. Science and magic are oriented towards desired goals. Science is guided by reason and corrected by observation, whereas magic is not guided by reasoning. It is considered as pseudo-science, primitive science, or bastard sister or of science, which means it is proposed by Taylor. Science is born of experience, magic is based on tradition. Science is open to all. For common good of the society, magic aims for both good and bad purposes. Science can be experimentally justified. Magic cannot be experimentally justified. Science is based on experiments and reason. Magic is based on beliefs and emotions. Science is based on conceptions of natural forces. Magic is based on supernatural forces. To conclude, magic is confined to an individual. It is everywhere uniform in its principles and always secret in nature. The magician is very much feared in the society and is most commonly used for good and bad purposes. It is considered malevolent and harmful for the society. Magic controls supernatural forces to one's own favor. Just like religion, magic is also concerned with non-empirical aspects. It is beyond logic and experimentations. It cannot be proved through experiment. Both religion and magic are concerned with supernatural aspects. Religion and magic involves many kinds of taboos and observations. Magic manipulates with ordinary objects and considers them with magical powers. The functions of magic reduce emotional stresses. To sum up the lesson, this lecture on sacred magic has been developed, as earlier pointed out, the selected materials which are available now. It has been divided into the following manner: meaning and definition of magic, elements of magic, classifications of magic, similarities and differences between magic and science for the discussion. I hope you all must have enjoyed this session and it may have enriched the knowledge on sacred magic. Thank you.